So, coming from such a rich background, how do you maintain the hunger to build your own career?
Honestly, I didn't come from a rich background. That's the crazy thing. I think people watch my videos and say, oh, like, Middle East, daddy's money, rich boy. But my dad wasn't rich. Actually, honestly, the first person that broke the rich barrier in my family was my sister. Funny enough, it's like, girl, how did she do it? And she got into real estate, actually.
Oh, really?
So my sister was 18. She moved here. She joined a real estate company. And back then in Dubai, the real estate market was like booming. Like it was like this week you buy a property, next week you flip it. It was like every single week it was like 5% up. And this was right before the crash, if you guys remember it. So my sister got into the real estate market. She made some good money with like commissions, obviously at the beginning. She was selling properties. And then she went on to open her own real estate company. And then that did good for about a year and a half. And then that's when the whole real estate crash happened. So we took the money, packed up, went to UK to continue studying. And that's kind of where the money came from,
I think that's a shame if, not coming from wealth, the fact that people think that, because there's probably there's like 10 articles online that say that your dad's worth 250 mil.
Man, I really wish so, man.
It's just a shame, though, that it sort
Yeah.
of tarnishes your work with people just assuming that because of what the articles say,
Well, because Kai gets that as well to a certain degree. They think
Yeah.
he's come from wealth, so that's why he says some of the things he does, which is completely the opposite.
Completely the
Yeah.
opposite. And they say I'm spoon-fed, and which is just so wrong. Like, if only they knew,
I mean, fake news is everywhere, right? You see fake news always. I mean, look at the whole Andrew Tate situation, just everywhere. Fake news, fake news, fake news. So, I mean, it doesn't really affect me. I'm like, all right. I mean, to be honest, I would want to be from a rich background. Why not,
Yeah.
Great. I'm from a really wealthy family. I mean, some people said that my family owns a bank. I was like, man, if my family owned the bank, I wouldn't be making daily YouTube videos,
Yeah. Your dad's the Imar guy that owns all the buildings.
A bar. But no, like, I mean, fake news is everywhere. You just have to go with it. I mean, just have fun with it. If you really get sucked into people saying fake news about you, then you're really controlled by the Matrix.
What comments hurt you more? The ones that are slightly real or the ones that are totally fake and are wrong?
I think, obviously, if something were to affect me, it definitely would be the real ones. But I've always been the guy that really, really, really didn't care. As in, like, the only things that affect me in my day-to-day life is, like, close friends or family. Like, the internet, there's, like, millions of people watching you. So if you're going to listen to every single thing that everyone says about you, you're just going to just get sucked up into a whirlwind. And that's what I've realized. Like, when people realize you don't care, they stop picking on you. Because there's only so much they can do, and they realize, okay, this guy doesn't care anymore. Like, I can tell him he's this, and he just doesn't react. Like, they give up. And that's what happens. I think they just give up. They move on. Like, towards the beginning, I had so much comments, obviously, about the dad situation. Your dad this, your dad that, your dad. And then they realize, like, I'm not reacting. And they're like, all right, you know what? Move it on.
This is what I was talking about with Kai this morning, is replying to some comments a bit snarky, and trying to punch back at them. I said, don't do that, because people reading will think, oh, you've really got under their skin with that comment.
Exactly. Like, if they feel like they've got you, if they find a weak point, they're just going to keep hitting at it,
Yeah, it is true. I probably shouldn't have done it, especially because the comment wasn't even about me, so I shouldn't have replied on someone else's behalf.
Yeah.
Was that
You're
my, my one where you called someone a weirdo?
You said you won the worst comment or the strangest
Yeah.
comment award. And you were like, I've really roasted this guy. I was like, well, maybe to the actual guy, but everyone else reading it, they probably think, oh, yeah, that's not a good way to be.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, it makes sense for
And
sure.
the trouble is you can win a battle, but you can't win the war with them, so there's no point going there.
Kill them with kindness.
I know,
That's what I
it's
say.
so hard not to get drawn out,